Level 1. The Newbie. It starts with sweat on your palms and a thumping heart every time you pass an ATM. You walk past them all the time now, eyes flicking to the card slot, memorizing shapes, patterns, the way sunlight glints off plastic. Your bag feels heavier than it should. Inside, nestled between your lunch and a tangled phone charger, is a device you bought online. Cheap? Plastic. It looks like a toy, but it could ruin someone's life. You tell yourself this is just research, just curiosity. You scroll through forums at night, eyes burning, reading stories from people who claim to pull in cash with barely a whisper. You recognize their usernames on every thread. They never use real photos. Every post ends with warnings, coded rules, threats about what happens if you get sloppy. You buy your first skimmer from a guy in a parking lot behind a strip mall. He doesn't look at you, just pops his trunk and pushes the device into your hand. It feels too light. Too easy. You start small. The local convenience store. The old ATM just inside the door, left alone when the cashier gets distracted. Your hands tremble as you fit the device over the reader. The snap of plastic is almost silent, but you hear it echo in your head for hours afterward. You step back, pretend to check your phone. Your heart pounds too loud. No one notices. Not the cashier. Not the old woman pulling bills from her purse. Not the couple buying lottery tickets. You feel invisible and huge at the same time. The first card numbers come in, scattered, almost meaningless. You type them out on your laptop late at night, each keystroke a thunderclap in the silent dark. You stare at numbers, names, expiration dates. They are just data, just lines on a screen. You know this is wrong. There's a tightness in your chest, a sour taste at the back of your throat. You do it anyway. Every day you check the ATM. Every day the device sits there, untouched, unseen. The days blur together. You're always watching, always waiting for the sound of sirens, for someone to lean over and yank you by the collar. No one does. Days pass. You get bolder. Your fear turns to something sharper, something almost like pride. You take the next step. Level 2. The installer. Now you move at night. Cold air, empty streets, the hush of tires on wet pavement. You drive with windows cracked just enough to keep you alert. The city glows in sodium orange and neon blue. Your tools ride in a backpack, hidden under a gym shirt. Everything has a place. Everything's silent, smooth, practiced. You choose your targets days in advance. You circle gas stations at midnight, watching who comes and goes, how long the clerks look at their phones, where the cameras point. You learn the game, where the light is weakest, which pumps never get cleaned, which ATMs jam and force people to swipe again and again. You notice patterns. The late-night trucker, the regular in yoga pants, the bored security guard who leaves at 2 a.m. You move when they disappear. You park across the street. You count to 30. In, out. Each step rehearsed a dozen times in your head. Hood up, head down, hands steady now. You slide the skimmer from your pocket, fingers numb with adrenaline. The surface is cool, slick, anonymous. You line up the edges. Press. Wait for the faint, almost inaudible click. It fits perfectly. That's the design. That's why it works. You don't look up. You never look up. You feel eyes everywhere. A passing car, the hum of a street lamp, the image of your own face burned forever into a grainy black and white camera feed. You hear footsteps, maybe real, maybe not. You tell yourself you're invisible. You recite the steps like a prayer: place, press, pocket, walk. Sometimes the skimmer stays for hours, sometimes only minutes. You time your returns with military precision, always using different routes, never taking the same car twice in a row. You check for tampering, for fingerprints, for the telltale mark of someone checking for tricks. Every surface, every corner, a potential threat. You get faster, smoother. You don't smile at yourself in mirrors anymore. You avoid them. One mistake, and the distance between you and prison is only the length of a plastic card. You start to hear rumors. Other crews in your city. Police staking out ATMs, watching for anyone who lingers too long. Stores swapping out machines without warning. Every errand, every drive, every second outside at night, you carry the weight of risk. The tension never leaves your shoulders. You take the numbers, you take the money. You tell yourself you can quit any time, but you keep chasing something bigger, something just out of reach. Nothing changed. Everything changed. Level 3, the dumper. The stash grows. Dozens of cards, then hundreds. Names, numbers, pins, each one a ticket to somebody else's life. You stop thinking about the faces. You start thinking about the value. The cards take up space on your drives, encrypted, organized in folders with meaningless names. Your fingers itch with the need to convert data into money before it all becomes worthless. You slip into new routines. The screen glows in the dark, casting blue light onto your hands as you scroll faceless marketplaces. Listings for fresh dumps, prices in crypto, avatars with no soul behind them. You watch as numbers flicker and deals appear, vanish, reappear under new names. You learn the language. High balance, verified, never used. Every word masks a risk. You need buyers, not friends, not partners. Just people as faceless as you, hungry for the same thing. You join encrypted chats, where every user is a fake name and every message might be a trap. The list of rules is longer than the list of trusted sellers. You pay in code, not in trust. Sometimes you get lucky. The first sale happens fast. A random message, a test file, a few hours of tense silence, then a ping. Payment sent. You see the transaction on the blockchain. Cold and permanent. Easy money if you ignore the nerves that keep your eyes glued to the news, searching for stories of arrests or raids. But luck never lasts. Some buyers vanish after receiving your data. Others try to resell your cards as their own. You've heard stories, deals that went sideways, accounts frozen, money lost in escrow. Sometimes the market is nothing but sharks eating sharks. You chase tips, vet every new contact, and still, every time you click send, you wonder if this is the move that ends you. You hear whispers of feds lurking in the channels, setting up stings. Some sellers stop posting, others get doxxed. The market shifts, splinters. You check your OPSEC 3 times before you log in. You delete your old handles. You start using burner devices, erasing them after every sale. The distance between you and the knock at your door is only a few keystrokes deep. Money comes in waves, fast, then slow, then faster. You spend it quickly, always moving, always hiding. Every day, new risks. Every night, new paranoia. You don't sleep much anymore. You take the crypto, you take the risk, you stare at your reflection in the dark screen, seeing nothing at all. A message lands, bigger order, higher payout. They want it soon. Drop point or direct transfer. You wipe your hands on your jeans and start typing, heart pounding out of rhythm. Once you were just a kid with a backpack in the dark. Now you're a vendor everyone wants to find. Level 4, the Carter. Your phone vibrates with codes, times, coordinates. You answer in clipped phrases, always anonymous. There's no more selling to amateurs now. You clone cards yourself, plastic smooth as ice, embossed numbers pressed by a machine you hide under old towels in your closet. You test everyone. A gas station after midnight. A drugstore that never locks its doors. You swipe, and the green light flashes. The money spills out, sometimes slow, sometimes all at once. You can't do it alone. Not anymore. You find mules in places no one looks. Desperate faces at bus stops. Messages sent at 4 in the morning. People who would rather not know your name. They walk into banks, cash out at ATMs, load gift cards in abandoned grocery aisles. You pay them a cut, just enough to keep them coming back. Every withdrawal, every click, every transaction widens the gap between you and your own life. Your world shrinks to burner phones and anonymous motels. You move cities in the night, always before sunrise. The cash fills duffel bags, but you don't taste any of it. Every bill feels hot, radioactive. The numbers in your accounts bounce between mixers, split, and reassembled, but you trust none of it. You buy prepaid cards for food. You use fake names for Ubers. You throw out clothes after every job. Burn SIM cards in the bathroom sink. Nothing changed. Everything changed. The paranoia grows teeth. You see cops in every gas station mirror. You check every car behind you twice. Sometimes you hear footsteps in the hall at 3 a.m. Your phone buzzes and you freeze, waiting to see if it's a deal or the end of the line. You dream in blue light and static, waking up to the taste of sweat and adrenaline. The network grows. Buyers want more, higher balances, more cards, faster delivery. You start to run out of sleep and patience. You cut corners that you swore you'd never touch. The thrill turns into a constant ache, a grinding anxiety that never lets you rest. Still, you keep moving. You take the cash, send the data, watch numbers climb. The distance between you and prison is a single compromised mule, a single careless message. You know this is wrong. You do it anyway. Another drop scheduled. New faces, new city. The risk is higher than ever, but you can't stop now. You take the cards and walk into the night. Level 5. The Ringleader. You don't sleep anymore. Not really. You rest with your eyes open, phone glowing on the nightstand, ready to light up with trouble. Every call is coded. Every message could be a setup. You watch 6 conversations unfold at once across 3 encrypted apps, switching SIM cards so often your fingers remember the feel of plastic and steel better than skin. There are teams in 3 states waiting for your word. One crew handles the hardware. They solder tiny chips, polish plastic shells, snap photos of ATM keypads in daylight crowds. Another crew plants the devices, 6 seconds flat, a flick of the wrist, a smile to the cashier, and it's done. You monitor everything, pulling strings with cold precision. Each mule downstream follows orders, never meeting anyone else, tracing lines that twist and vanish long before the cops could follow. Rival crews want your methods. Your burner buzzes with threats, offers, warnings whispered from ghost accounts. You move your operations weekly. Sometimes you lose a box of skimmers or a duffel of cash, a cost of business. You never show frustration, never let blood or sweat show in your voice. That's the design. That's why it works. The money comes faster than you can count. It piles in places you'll never visit, hidden behind shell companies and false invoices. You buy silence with envelopes left in lockers, loyalty with tickets out of town. You tell yourself you're just a coordinator, a shade in the network, but every crime points back to your word. Every dollar has your fingerprints, even if no one can see them. Then the news hits. Raids in 2 cities. Someone flipped. You hear about doors broken at dawn, laptops in evidence bags, wired informants in cheap hotel rooms. You feel the walls closing. Every plan you built, every measure suddenly looks like paper in the rain. You burn phones by the dozen. You wipe laptops, erase logs, shut down accounts you spent years building. Your crew scatters. Some vanish, some call begging for help, for bail money, for forgiveness you can't give. The web you spun unravels, strand by careful strand, faster than you ever thought possible. There's nothing left but memory and adrenaline. You leave the last safe house with nothing but a jacket and a name nobody knows. The distance between you and the end is a single choice. You walk out into the morning. For the first time in years, the sun feels real. You know this is over. You made the choices, you paid the price. And you remember, easy money always comes back for more.